I am at legendary food spot Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles to meet with equal legends in punk rock, Don Bolles, and recording genius, Steve Albini.
Damian.
What up, Steve? Good to meet you, man. Don.
Damian.
How's it going? Well, let's go to Roscoe's, guys. Well, this is the best breakfast I think I've ever had because I'm here with two people that I've always wanted to sit down and talk to. And Steve Albini, we are at your favorite restaurant with a member of your favorite LA punk band, Vox Pop.
Both of these things are true.
Except Vox Pop's not your favorite LA band, of course, the Germs are.
Sure.
Yeah, the number 3, the half a chicken.
I had a half chicken.
And the 2 waffles.
That's for me, I think, the half.
Okay, mine was smothered. Yeah.
There you go, sir.
Thank you very much.
Anything to drink for you?
Actually, I had stuff that I was going to drink. I was getting an orange juice and a Corona.
Okay, perfect.
I guess the reason that I think it's amazing that we get to have the two of you talking about this stuff is because you don't really like this city that much.
Well, every city has its charm if you get into it, you know. But the culture that makes it out of LA into the greater world, like the stuff that comes out of here that you would observe from a distance, I mean, it's fucking nightmarish. You know?
Well, except I think you have one exception, and that's your number one, right?
Yeah,
which is
the
the
Germs
Germs.
were an incredible band. There was something that, like, very personal and very unhealthy about the Germs. Like, you got the impression that no other people would have made that music, and that those people could have made no other kind of music, you know?
Yeah, that's totally true. I've always thought of it that way too. Pat's a genius. He could play. When I met him, he was 17. He was playing Yes songs, just like nuance for nuance. You know, just like I was blown away. And all he had in his room were pictures of Queen and Farrah Fawcett and all the high fashion models of the day. And he just shredded on guitar. Jaw was on the floor. It was such a great band, like you said. There was just something about it that was different. It was not like all that other crap. There was a lot of crap in LA.
It seemed like all this stuff from LA was way more focused, way more concerned with image. I think this is one of the reasons that I always hated all the music that came out of here, is that outside LA, the scene and the focus of the attention was on the people making the music and the people who were their peers in the crowd who were participating in the experience. And out here, it seemed like the music scene was centered on the sort of the exploitation of music as commerce, and then everyone sort of accepted that as the background. Like, well, you know, you have to promote yourself, you have to try to get these gigs, you have to pay to play, you have to have a manager, like all this stuff.
Yeah, before punk came along and after punk left, it was like that.
Yeah, like totally. All that stuff to me is completely external, and I consider it like. I consider it an insult to have to indulge that side of things, and so I just don't do it.
But it's funny that, to me, the kind of DIY thing that becomes so key to punk doesn't start really in New York. It's more when it comes to LA, and you have like Danger House starting up. You have people starting like the Mask, Brendan Mulling starting the Mask, and because they weren't able to go to conventional clubs. Like CBGB's, for its amazing booking, was a conventional rock, blues, whatever club. Here they were kind of setting up their own spaces.
We had halls.
Halls too, yeah.
Yeah, it was a total DIY scene. And it was totally young people that were just genius that ran away from all these different places. There were street hustlers too, a lot of these kids. They were like selling their dicks on Hollywood Boulevard, you know, and then they'd show up at the Mask and be the guy from the Skulls, you know, and it was twisted. But I have a funny story about one of the biggest bands in LA that I was in. We were traveling around, I was in Wisconsin.
What band was this?
Celebrity Skin.
Okay, I remember that name.
Yeah. And we were listening to the Pixies, Surfer Rosa, and some other stuff. And I think you produced some of this stuff, right? And it was the best sounding thing I think we had ever heard. And we were looking for someone to do our record, right? Our singer and I are like, let's get Steve Albini. This guy's got the best sound of anybody. He could make us sound good. And our manager, who was like this kind of a dick, but he was like he was a hilarious weirdo too that made the best prank phone calls of almost anybody else ever. But he put together this package with a 12-inch that we did and a picture and a little bio and all this shit and sent it to Steve, who promptly sent it back with the record smashed to bits with a hammer and the pictures ripped to shreds, and a note that said, if these guys weren't so full of themselves, they would realize what utter shit they are and give it up. Fuck off, Steve Albini. And I was like,
Now that sounds harsh even for me.
no, but it was harsh. It was super harsh.
Isn't a burden being the most honest man in rock and
It
roll?
was, I got it. I would have done the same fucking thing if I would have had the information he had.
You know, I believe this story. I have no recollection of it.
I would have done the same thing.
Well, I could spend the rest of my day myth busting with the two of you
I totally-
about legends about both of you.
I totally loved
but
it.
I've only eaten
I had a waffle.
a third of my waffle. I've just been feeding on conversation.
I gotta say, I love the sunrise here. This is my
What is
fucking
that?
business. It's half orange juice, half lemonade.
Ah, there
it's
you
really, really great.
Yes. No, and let me tell you, I want to have every sunrise with you, Steve.
Yeah.
And Don, thank you guys so much for
No problem.
sharing your favorite band and your favorite food spot.
Yeah, I'm flattered that you like the germs. You like some cool stuff.
So now we can give him a germs burn, right? Vampire rules.
I don't even have one of those.
Well, now time to give you one,
That
because
might
I got
hurt.
a real one.
That might hurt.
It does. It's like the
Yeah, no
motherfucker.
thanks.
Let's do that smack